everyone, my name is Sandy and I am going to review My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, Pirates of the Disturbance. Now this is different than most of the other games I play because I don't play Otome games on stream very often, so this is going to be a little outside of my comfort zone, but I think that I have played enough of the game to give you guys a general idea about it, and it's good, okay? In fact, it actually made me want to watch the anime, which I did not know. I did not know that this game had been based off of a light novel, which was turned into a manga, which was turned into an anime, which even had a feature film. In fact, I actually saw the very first episode of the anime a few minutes before I started recording this. So, as I said, the game is called My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, Pirates of the Disturbance, where you have a group of friends and a group of potential love interests who are also friends that attend a magic academy with you. You actually are a reincarnation of a villainess in a game. So you're actually replacing the villainess, and to avoid all the doom flags that pop into the game. Now I have actually got to see several flags. Aw, sweet endings and several, is that it? Endings. So it goes all over the place. I have not uncovered all of the endings. I have not seen all of the routes, but I think I have seen about 4 to 5 characters so far, including one mini one, which I was kind of shipping in the background, hoping that it would happen, and then I found it happen in a side story, like, oh, so that's happens. And I was so like, yeah. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to ruin it. Yes, I was having a secret ship that I wanted to have happen, and it did in the most insane and not expected ways possible. In fact, it was actually tied to someone else's route, and somehow there was the bad ending. Was the ending I wanted? Okay. Yeah. I wanted this. I actually, when I thought, how the heck did I do this? So I could recreate it again, because I was actually accidentally fast forwarded, and I only saw the last line of it. So she did what? Never mind. I didn't say anything. Okay, nothing. No. I'm not. No. There's no spoiler. Oh God, this is gonna be harder than I can think of. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's focus on the characters, okay? First off is Katarina Klaus. She's our villainous protagonist. She is the lovable but clumsy but tomboyish, but oh my gosh, I see myself in so many ways of her. Oh my gosh, I love this girl so much, and she has such a crazy addiction to food. For the longest time, I was thinking maybe her one true love is not any of these guys, but food. And I actually did see an ending involving that, like, oh. I didn't say anything. But yes, most of the jokes in this game happen to deal with food. The biggest sound effect I heard throughout most of the game was the sound of her stomach rumbling at the worst possible moments, over and over again. And food was really the way to her heart, was food. I'm sorry. Yeah. Is the villainess in the story. She actually has flashbacks to her prior life where she was a teenager. The world that she's now in is a recreation of that exact same Otome game with all of the dangers in it. So every now and then we saw scenes of her in the past revealing things about the game, and we also saw scenes of her alternate in-game character. And it was kind of like fourth wall breaking in some cases, because you got to see how in some storylines how the alternate evil version of her was kind of pulling a Sadako in this situation and creeping me out, and that's actually tied to one of the storylines. Like, ooh, okay. And there's even a section where you can actually see where you're about to hit a major crossroads between a choice. Many times that choice is like a little courtroom where you see many chibi versions of her in a courtroom trying to decide what their next step of action is. In many cases it will either lead to a special ending or a special death. I saw lots of deaths that way. Okay, so I was able to figure that pattern out. Also, I was able to figure out that many people's story threads you could follow by matching the color of the rose you see on the saving indication. It's like a rose that actually matches the color scheme of the person you're talking to. So you could actually tell if you see the rose that you've actually in their color, if it's actually increased your affinity towards them. And that's how I was able to navigate through a lot of the storylines. I messed up on one of them though, because one of them I got a so-so storyline. I don't know what I did wrong. I think it might have been a choice that I might have missed or skipped over or fast forwarded through by mistake. But yeah, be careful in fast forwarding because you will miss important clues. Even if you played the game before, there are subtle changes, and fast forwarding doesn't guarantee you're going to see all of them, which actually happened, which is why I missed one of the storylines that had to deal with Mary. That kind of upset me. So I'm trying to figure out how to get that to recreate. But yeah, Katarina is amazing. She's awesome. She's silly. She's a tomboy. She has everyone in this game under her spell, including the villains in some cases. One villain really wants to really destroy her, really, and all she did was exist. So even though the girls are considered like side stories, they have so much weight on this story that actually made it more appealing for me, because as you go through the game, you get to see not only how you're developing with your friends currently, but you get to unlock special hidden secret pasts, so you can actually get more insights on it. So each time I was becoming closer with each of the friends, I got to see past situations with the friends that I was unaware of. And remember, I did not see the anime. I didn't know any about this stuff that happened, and now it's making me want to see the anime so I can see these things that actually happened. There are 3 friends. There's Mary, Sophia, and Marie. First up, Maria Campbell. She is the protagonist of the game. She is a user who has special light-based magic that all of the guys are to be drawn to, and depending on the choice that she chooses, that will determine whether or not Katarina's character lives or dies, which is why Katarina is so insistent on becoming her friend and avoiding any doom traps along the way. In fact, she's actually just straight up becoming everyone's friend, whether it's going to be beneficial to her or not, which is the even better touch. Several stories have to do with her either helping out, using her magic to help out, or being a victim in some cases where she is a target from some factions that want to utilize her magic for nefarious deeds. It seems like every time I turn around, it's a different storyline with her, so I'm curious to see how the other 2 storylines are going to be, because I've got 2 more story threads to go through, and I don't know what my involvement with her will be in this one, so these 2, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen with this. Mary Hunt. Oh my gosh, Mary is my favorite character in the whole game, okay? She fiance for one of the suitors, one of the love interests in the game, and in the original game she's supposed to be like an antagonist to go against, but in this game they are thick as thieves. They are best buds. Mary does not want to be anywhere away from Katarina, okay? And I keep saying Katarina, but I keep thinking Catalina, like the salad dressing, so it's not in my head, I don't know why. But yes, Mary is always trying to stick close to her. She wants to beat the living crap out of the guys trying to woo Katarina because she wants her for herself, and it shows. And I think in one case I actually chose to depend on her for something, and it turned out that she never mind, I'm not going to say it. I want to say it so much, but it's a spoiler, so no. I gotta be careful around her. I love her, but she is, oh boy, she is a character. She is wild. She has this magic power of water, and she can destroy things with her water attacks. Like, oh my god, she is OP, and I'm sorry, I love her so much. She is badass, okay? Not only will she beat you down with water, she will beat you down with a couple of slaps if you piss her off, okay? She is like the ultimate wingman, okay? She will keep all undesirables away, okay? She cleared the way for all these guys. Like, my girl, mine. She should have been a love interest herself. I'm sorry, but dang it, she was crazy. Okay, let's calm down. Next is Sophia Ascard. She is one who has wind magic. She is also a friend of Katerina. She has they have a bonding over reading stories together, especially romance stories. They bond over that, and she is secretly rooting for her brother to woo Katerina on, and she gets upset when any of the other guys get close to that, and she really starts digging at them. She is very, very protective. I love Sophia. Not such a love as Mary, but Sophia, she is definitely awesome. Okay, I love Sophia. She is awesome. In fact, I actually was more excited about scenes with her more so than I was with scenes with her brother Nicole. So I was like, Nicole, who? Oh, nope, never mind. Yes. She was definitely based. She's definitely worth checking out. Yeah, those are the three girls, the best friends. Now let's talk about the guys. Oh boy. We have Gordio, the prince, his brother Alan, Katerina's brother Keith, and Sophia's brother Nicole. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. Now Keith is an adopted brother that was brought into the family. In the original Otome game, he was supposed to be bullied by Katerina. Katerina did not want to have that happen, so she became best buddies with him instead. Overprotective, but also overly nagging. He's like a mother hen in many cases. I have not seen his ending yet, so I really don't know how his ending goes. From what I've seen in so many of the other stories, it seems like he is going to probably leverage the adoption angle to possibly get closer to Katerina, even though he's supposed to be hooking with Maria, but because Katerina changed the storylines before the start of the game, everyone's in a all buddy state. So yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to be, but yeah, that's pretty much Keith in a nutshell. I can't really say much about him because I haven't really got much of his story uncovered. Okay, next up we have Nicole. Like I said, he is the brother of Sophia, and he is overwhelmingly throwing on the charm. Seriously, every time she talks to him, blush is coming out of everywhere. He smiles and girls go flap. Like flap on the ground, I mean. She calls him like his demon smile. He has a smile that just wins over every girl in the area, okay? And she thinks she's built up a tolerance for him, but not quite. He still manages to knock her out of her league a couple of times. In his story thread, I can't reveal that much that happens in his particular story thread, darn it. But I will say that when you follow his path, you get to see a lot more about how his relationship with her was, how her relationship with the sister was. It's a lot more intricate, and you get to see both points of both situations. So he was the first one I chose, and he was also the sweetest and bravest. Actually, there's some cases he showed he was really, really brave, and I was actually surprised about that. Okay, next up, Gordo Stewart. He is the prince of the kingdom, and at a young age, he managed to get engaged to Katerina, although she was not quite aware that she was getting engaged to him at the time. But she wound up putting herself in the target, and they managed to make a arrangement where he will break the engagement if anytime she doesn't want him to do it. But he has no intention of keeping that promise at all. He's definitely going to keep her under his thumb. Okay. He has a mean, evil side to him that you see peeking out in each of the story threads, and you don't really want to cross him. So I tread lightly around this guy. I do. I don't try to get overly wooing with him because I don't know how that's going to end up. But it is interesting to see how possessive he is of her. And even though she was considered a villainess in the game, he managed to still have a high bond to her even in that point. So it is interesting to see how it changes based off of the way that Katarina is playing in the game now. So yeah, he's definitely above the higher level of the Bishies there. Next up is his brother, Alan Stewart. He is the more of the tsundere of the group, pretty much. He is the guy who you can think that you can tell he's cocky. He doesn't care about anything. At least that's what the first impressions of him was. But he loves his music. He doesn't like being compared to his brother. If he actually falls for Katarina, he gets upset and jealous of their engagement. And he even gets jealous of her relationship with Mary, which he's engaged to. He's engaged to Mary. And Mary has her own thing where she's not quite feeling it because she kind of has the hots for someone else in the game. And she is quite obsessed with that person a lot. So Alan has no chance. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for Alan. Alan, you are not getting a woman in this if you're not the chosen one. I'm sorry. Okay. But in the path I did get with him, he managed to be quite possessive or protective. I think more so protective. He was more on the case of how Katarina was constantly putting herself in dangerous situations and always having a freak out whenever she did. And it took her a while to get it in her head. Stop you knucklehead type of thing. So yeah, it was kind of a paternal type of relationship. So I really didn't feel any emotion. Of course, the ending I got was kind of lackluster, so I probably didn't make some right choices. So I'm not quite sure where the thread is to get them a little bit more closer. But yeah. And now we come to the special characters. As you see, this is a game where the storyline happens on a ship that is bound for to do a tour of two rivaling nations. And the ship is built between the collaborations of people from those two warring nations so they could actually build a way towards peace. There are certain factors going on that is threatening that peace, and the people on the boat are an enticement to have the political leanings go towards that particular faction within that country. So one of the characters has high links to that particular country, and you only see him along the lines of working on the ship, but you don't really see what his true allegiances are. But there are points where it seems like either he's a total villain, sympathetic but still villain, or he's tied to the political maneuverings but still upset about the actions he took, or you see him as a total romantic interest, which I have yet to see his romantic interest yet, so I've only seen parts of it. And yes, he did have a habit of showing up and treating Katarina with food and snacks when she needed it. So he already won her heart over when he gave her candy. I'm sorry. That was like bar none. It's over. You gave her food. She's like a cat. She's always coming back. Okay. But yeah, they do become good friends in most of the routes I've seen. And yeah, it's a nice sweet thing. And he's actually like an inventor, so he's actually creating things and actually has to deal with a lot of the mechanisms going on the ship. So he's actually highly linked into that. And the last main character is the pirate himself, Silva. Now, if you watch the Super Sentai series Zentai Koreshi Zokaija, the character Captain Marvelous comes to mind when I think of Silva. He has his band of pirates attack the ocean liner that everyone's on, and decides to round up all the nobles, lock them in their rooms so they can be held for ransom. And through complications, he winds up in different situations with Katarina. In some cases, he winds up using her as bait. Some cases she uses her to calm people down. Another case he used her as Exorcist. Can I say Exorcist without warning anything? Yeah, her relationship with him is definitely in ebb and flow throughout the stories, but he always seems to have a huge important part of the story. In fact, so far of all the stories I've gone through so far, his was the most in-depth, that actually covered most of the story threads. So I got to see not only the storyline with the pirates, the storyline with Rosie, I also got to see the storyline with that featured the political leanings with the king, which you'll see in a moment. And also I got to see how he was interacting with her throughout different scenarios, like how he found her hiding in some places that he was not expecting, or how she wound up walking in on him and seeing stuff she wasn't supposed to see. And yeah, it was a nice, sweet story, okay? And then finding out what his true role was in the whole situation was blindsided, although you probably could have guessed it. And it looked like it was kind of telegraphed, but not to that degree. But yeah, Silva is definitely a worthy story of thread to go through. He was definitely, as far as I have seen so far, one of the best storylines in the whole game. Next up, we have a couple of side characters. We have here Ryle Werder. He has a part that ties into the sabotage of the guest, but he also has a story thread where he's tied to a character named Liliana, who you find on the ship in some threads. They actually have a relationship that changes based off of the story thread you're on as well. Now, these two jerks, Seth Norton and Frederick Arison, I hate them both. I hate them both with a passion. Not only does Seth, who is the one who actually is the owner of the ship and also noble in the homeland that they are heading to, but also he is a jerk. He's a piece of work. I hate him. And plus he has an unhealthy attraction to Maria, where he's trying to lure her to his side in weird, creepy, old man, pervy ways, and I didn't like it. Every time him and Maria had any type of conversation, I was definitely willing to break her away from it. I hated that guy. And then finding out what he did with her later on in some threads, just about every storyline has to do with him going after her in some ways. That seems to be a constant to all the storylines. So anytime I get to have his butt kicked, I'm happy. And his right-hand man, a swordsman named Frederick, has a huge hatred of women. He despises them in all his fiber. He hates them so much. And it's actually tied to something that happened in his past, but he's taking it out on any female he sees in the game, including to the point where he tries to murder or attack them. So yeah, he's not that good, and I hate him. I really want to beat the crap out of him too. Not as much as I wanted to beat upset, but yeah, he's definitely hate material. Next character is the king, Albert, who you see under certain threads. He seems to be a super shipper, okay? He's not the normal type of king you expect. He's related to one of the main characters, which I can't reveal, but he also has, I can't reveal it without saying too much because I don't want to spoil too much, okay? The last character, Dirk Rigardwell. Piece of work in just one thread so far, and I am glad that I don't have to see him again, okay? I hate him. Imagine Cersei with a absolute control thing going on from Game of Thrones. Think of it like that, where he refuses to let one of his underlings escape from his grasp and torments them forever. And when he thinks he's finally got away, he still goes after him because he finds him as a perfect specimen of a person that he wants to capture some essence from. He's creepy, okay? He's creepy. He's ultra creepy, and I'm glad that he got what was coming to him if you choose the right choices. Okay? But yeah, that was all of the characters. It's really interesting. It made me want to see the anime. It makes me want to read the manga. For the most part, I really enjoyed it. I really am excited to see the last few endings that I haven't uncovered. And I'm also interested to see the other alternate endings that I haven't uncovered yet. So, will I say you should buy it? Well, even if you're not into Otome games where you are wooing girls, I'd say still get it, because it is a good continuation of the anime series, and you get to see so many unique storylines that are hidden based off of who you are choosing. And I think that's the best part of it, is actually uncovering new elements of the story that you didn't know that existed. So that's why I highly recommend it. Will I keep playing it? Yes, because I still have other endings that I need to beat. Will I stream it? I wish I could, but unfortunately embargo rules tell me I'm not allowed to. So that's why I'm doing this video, so you could actually get a general idea of it. And hopefully I convince you to give it a shot yourself. It is $49.99 on the Nintendo store. It also has a special high quality digital version, a special deluxe version which includes a lot of things such as the artwork and other assets. The limited edition includes a reversible cover sleeve, steel game case, the audio drama, and the official soundtrack, official hardcover art book, collector's box, and trading cards. So yeah, it does have a lot of neat stuff in the deluxe version. But yeah, that caps my report on the game. And with that, I'm done. I'm saying bye-bye until the next game. Bye.